In this video, you will see and hear the consequences of bringing an underprepared dog into loud environments as the handler overestimates TuxReadyAussie's noise sensitivity. Welcome to TuxReadyAussie. TuxReadyAussie did nicely as Santa walked through the hallway and dropped off some candy canes. Do your dogs ever just get super tired after a couple of hours? Because I feel like that's maybe what's been happening for the rest of this previous video. So, she is really tired. Currently waiting for our food while we are waiting for our play to start. So that's what we're up to right now. I don't know how much I'll be filming, but we're gonna go see a Broadway play. Not an actual Broadway, but it is still a Broadway play. So we're gonna go be seeing that today, and I'll give you guys an update of how that goes if I don't get any footage. Definitely a story to tell here. May not be able to tell it until tomorrow, just because I'm working through a lot of it, but I did say I would share everything about us as a team, so yeah, we'll see how when I tell you. Hey everyone, so the day got away from me, but pretty much the story, mostly because I was processing and whatnot, but pretty much what happened yesterday was he was definitely not prepared for the environment. Some people got upset. I mean, they were right to be upset. It would have been nicer if they were a little bit nicer about being upset, but overall most people were understanding. But yeah, he definitely was not prepared, and that's why you always have an escape route, which we thought we did, but turns out we had seats against a wall, and that, yeah, so we had seats against the wall, which made it hard to escape initially. When we did escape, they tried to accommodate us better. We mostly stayed in the hallway. He was able to settle down, but then one of the, at the very end when we were in a quiet room, but then one of the ushers, he stood up when my friend walked by the room, and at that point the usher pretty much told us, or offered for us to go to another location. I want to keep thinking that they were being nice, but at some point, when I reflected, it did kind of seem like they were just trying not to make a scene, which I appreciate. At the same time, like, the way he was acting inside the theater, like when we were in the hallway, he was definitely under control, but when we were in the theater, they definitely would have had every right to kick him out because even though he is a service animal, an animal that is out of control. Is allowed to be kicked out. Now, of course, the handler is supposed to be able to be back in. So, and I realized that I could have also left, but my friend had the tickets, and it was a lot of poor processing and issues of that such. But it definitely was a learning experience, whether or not it was further actions will show what kind of learning experience it was. So that's kind of the rundown. I am doing a little bit better. He's been mostly tired. We did a few small, easy outings, which he was pretty good for, and he wanted to leave the house with me, so I didn't make him. We'll just have to see how he does for our flight. To give more background into these events, the first story was an indoor holiday concert where we left to go into the hallway about 30 minutes in because I felt he was disturbing guests. I did think we would return, so I left my stuff in there. When he had calmed down enough, I did go back to retrieve my items, then returned to the hallway for the remainder. The second event was a theater with a balcony, and I was fully expecting it to be a training opportunity for us. There was not much footroom, so some people offered the seats between them and the wall that had space behind a wood railing. I thought he would be okay in his hearing protection on his settle mat. As soon as the introduction song started, he jumped up, putting his front paws onto the railing, and I corrected onto the floor. The second time he jumped up, I was looking for an escape that would disturb the least amount of people. On the third jump, the people behind me and my friend made a comment and stood up to report us to an usher. I used this time to walk past their seats to escape to the hallway. The ushers were helpful and showed me an alternative viewing location at this point. During intermission, and after I took him out to potty, I spoke to the ushers again, and someone said something like, "Send the dog back to its trainer," and "We've had service dogs here before," to which I explained he was owner trained and not every dog has the same training opportunities. We tried sitting at a different level with more space and easy to escape. He did slightly better, but I wanted to end on a good note, so I returned to the hallway. Part of the usher conversation I mentioned, the person said that I shouldn't mention that he is owner trained prior to him standing up as my friend walked by. At one point, I do believe the usher at least tried to pet him. The area I filmed in was being vacuumed, and he did perfectly well for the vacuum, so we did indeed end on a good note, and we left before the crowd. Overall, the theater did a great job accommodating us given the circumstances. Even though they said I was welcome back and recommended a quieter musical, I have not been to that or any theater as of this video. They did say this was the loudest play they show, which does have me thinking if the other service dogs who attended the theater were at this play. But this also shows that A, if you are training, make sure you can leave if something goes wrong, and B, there are some locations that you may want to think twice before bringing a service dog. As always, this is TuxReadyAussie, and dogs make mistakes, handlers make mistakes, and it all depends on what you do with those mistakes and how you grow. I do plan to work with a trainer to evaluate his noise sensitivity to better determine what activities he can realistically attend with me and possibly how to work up to loud environments as needed. As we educate business owners and dog owners and those who may have an allergy or fear of dogs or other animals to know their rights at the federal level in the United States. If we work together and become educated as a community, and we can protect people from being scammed when it comes to dogs and their rights federally.